His favor be upon you in 1,000 generations, in your family, in your children, in your children, in your children. May His presence go before you and behind you and beside you, all around you and within you. He is with you. He is with you in the morning, in the evening, in your coming, in your going, in your weeping, your rejoicing. He is for you. 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 Yes. We sing, Amen. Amen. So, Amen. In His presence goes before you, it's behind you and beside you, all around you and within you. He is with you. He is with you in the morning, in the evening, in your coming, in your going, in your weeping and rejoicing. He is for you. He is for you. So, yes, His favor is upon you to 1,000 generations, and your family, and your children, and their children, and their children. Yes, His favor is upon you to 1,000 generations, and your family, and your children, and their children, and your children. Yes, His presence goes before you, it's behind you and beside you, all around you and within you. He is with you. He is with you in the morning, in the evening, in your coming, in your going, in your weeping, rejoicing. He is for you. 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 Yes, He is for you. We sing, Amen. Amen. So, we sing,
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to our program.
yes, Yes, I'm Helen.
I am Geoff, and we're coming to you live from 1920 Wellick Road. And it's an honor
Yes.
for us to be in your
Yeah.
home, an honor for us to be able to come to you. And like this, I've been saying this
Yes.
for a few times now, that me and my wife are really enjoying
Yes,
this
we
aspect of coming together and just
Yeah.
sharing. And we're,
Yeah.
we're, we're learning so much just
Yeah.
ourselves, let
Yes.
alone the comments and things that we're getting from other people. But so
Yeah.
we are in
This
for
is
a
awesome.
treat this morning, aren't we, babe?
Welcome, for joining. We're glad you joined us for coffee today on this beautiful Sunday morning.
Absolutely. We got
Yeah.
fresh Tim Hortons sitting
Yes.
here.
Yeah, we got
and we
Tim
are
Hortons. I got my
enjoying-
cup here.
Absolutely. So
Yeah.
we've talked about quite a few pretty awesome topics. And one of the things
Yes.
that we want to talk about this morning
Yes.
is making the most out
Yeah.
of life.
Yeah.
I don't know about you, but sometimes all of us are feeling different things through
Yes.
these interesting times that we're walking through. And
Yeah.
one of the things that I really want to emphasize, or we want to emphasize, is the
Yes.
reality that we don't often control our circumstances.
That's right.
However,
Yes.
we do control how we respond and how
Yes.
we go through them.
Yes.
And sometimes it takes a little bit of navigating
Yeah, totally.
and understanding stuff and things like
Yes.
that. And so we want to speak some life into you this morning.
Yes, that's
Again,
our
our whole
heart.
purpose
Yes.
of getting together and doing these shows
Yes.
is to bring hope
Yeah.
and to speak life into your situations, because
Yes.
we value
Yeah.
your input. We value
Yes.
journeying together.
Yeah.
And I'm excited to hear some of the stories that you guys have
Yes.
told and testimonies you guys shared of just what
Yes.
God's doing in your
Yeah.
life. And that's one of the reasons
Yeah.
that we want to keep doing this
Yeah.
and just
And
touch base.
even leaving you with some tools to take home.
I love that
Yeah.
aspect, because it
That's
is
our
about
heart.
tools, isn't it?
Yes.
It's about tools. It's about
Yeah.
equipment. It's about
Yeah.
understanding. It's about
Yeah.
perspective.
Yes.
And we want to be one of those voices here echoing
Yes.
in your home, wherever
Yes.
you are,
Yes.
that it's not the end. Yes,
Yeah.
there's some things that we have to shift and
Yeah.
change in our thinking or in
Yes.
whatever. But I want you to know
Yeah.
that it is possible, that you
Yes.
guys are overcomers,
Yes.
that no matter what
Yes.
comes your way,
Yeah.
you can rise above all
Yes.
these things. And
Yes.
fear
Yeah.
doesn't have to be a factor
That's
at
right.
all.
Everything becomes an opportunity
Absolutely.
if we look through the right lens.
That's
So-
important, looking
Yeah.
through the right lens.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
how we see things
Yes.
always reflects on how we
Yes.
live things out. And so
Yeah.
God has empowered all of us,
Yes.
every one of us,
Absolutely.
to make
Yes.
the most out of
Yes.
life. And
Yeah.
so we want to talk
Yeah.
about that just a little bit here
Yes.
this morning. And we wrote a few things down because
Yep.
we think this is an important subject.
Yep.
And again, we want to leave you with some tools. We want to
Yes.
leave you with some encouragement. We want to give you life
Yep.
and different things like that. So
Yeah.
making the most out of life.
Yep.
I know that life hands us a lot of stuff.
Yep. Yeah.
And
it sure does.
sometimes that stuff is good, and sometimes stuff is not so good.
Yes.
But what I want to talk about is what we do with what life gives us.
Yes.
How we respond
Yes.
to it, how we process it through, how do we live with what's coming in and around us. And so
Yes.
it's important for us to talk about that. It's interesting, there's a verse in Ephesians chapter 5 that I just want to read to you in
Yeah.
backdrop of what we want to talk about a little bit.
Yes.
In Ephesians chapter 5, verses 15 to verse 16, it says, Paul's writing this to a city in Ephesus, a very, very predominant city,
Yeah.
a really happening place. And he encourages them in 15. He says, so be careful how you live.
Yeah.
The idea isn't, now I'm going to give you some laws to
Yes.
listen to. I'm going to give
No.
you some instruction, but
Yeah.
rather he's wanting them to see the opportunity
Yes.
that they have in front
Yeah.
of them.
Yes.
So he says, I want you to be careful how you live, because how
Yes.
we live is a picture of how we believe.
Absolutely.
And so he says, I want you to be careful how you live.
Yeah.
He says, don't live like people that are unwise,
Yeah.
but live as though you're wise, because that's who we are.
Yes.
And then he says this in verse 16, it really grabs hold of what we want to talk about. He says,
Yeah.
making the most of every opportunity
Yeah.
in these interesting days.
Yeah. Shifting days.
Or shifting days,
Yes.
or days that
Yeah.
we're not sure, days
Yes.
that
Yeah.
have more questions.
Yes.
So he's challenging
Yeah.
all of us
Yeah.
to take
Yes.
the most
Yeah.
are the moments that we have.
Yes.
And all of
Yeah.
us have moments. Every
Yes.
day we have moments.
We do.
So the question is, how do we make the most of them?
Yes. Of every opportunity.
I mentioned
Yeah.
that sometimes life hands us good things and sometimes life hands us not so good things, and how
Yeah.
we work that through. I
Yeah.
know we talked about Joseph, one of our very first live streams that we did.
Yes.
And he's a prime example of when life hands you things, sometimes good, sometimes bad. And
Yes.
what I enjoy out of the life of Joseph is the fact that he made the most of his
Yes.
opportunities.
Yes.
He made the most of
Yes.
what life was giving him.
Yes.
Whether it was
Yeah.
prison, being lied to, being
Yeah.
promoted,
Yeah.
taking opportunity, have
Wow.
great influence. He took the moments and
Yeah.
made the most of them.
And you know what? To even say this is because we've heard a lot about the new normal or what is normal or how do we walk through when
right, yeah.
Joseph had the normal ripped out from under him again and again.
Yes.
And so what he did when there was the normal was
Yeah.
gone, and how do we walk through? How
That's
do we walk
important
through
because
when the normal, what
I think
we
everybody
consider normal?
asks that question.
Yes.
So what do we
We've-
do then?
yeah.
How do we make the
Yes.
most of it? And
Yeah.
so just springboarding off of some of Joseph's idea and the passage I read,
Yes.
it's important for us to understand that first and foremost, before we
Yes.
get into what we want to talk about, it is possible to make the most of all
Yes.
of our opportunity.
Yes. Yeah, it
we,
is. Yes.
folks, we don't have to be swallowed up
100%.
by the things
right.
that are screaming for our attention.
Yes. Yeah.
We don't.
Yes.
That's the wonderfulness of
Yes.
it.
Yeah.
Is we don't have to be a product of our environment.
100%. Yay.
Because what's alive in us
Yes.
is far greater
Yeah.
than anything around us.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
we want to tackle that a little bit for the
Yes.
next 20 minutes
Yeah.
or so, because we want to honor
Yeah.
our time with you.
Yes.
So we wrote down just a few things that we want to
Yeah.
leave you
Yes.
to how you can make the most of every opportunity. And
Yes.
they're really practical. And I
Yes.
really believe in being practical, because if
Yes.
we're talking about stuff that we can't relate to or we don't
Yeah.
understand, it's really
Yeah.
useless information.
Yes.
And we want to break it down in a way that first of all we've processed, because
Yes, we have.
I'm not the easiest processor.
Yeah.
And so I love to break it down into
Yes.
bit-sized pieces for us to
Simple.
hook our hands into
right.
it, so that we
Yeah.
can not only hang on to it but apply
Yes.
it to our life. And so
Yes.
I want us to talk about three things,
Yeah.
and how we can make the most of our opportunities. Because
Yes.
again, I
Yeah.
want to emphasize
Yeah.
that we can make the most.
Yes.
We don't have to be products of our
That's
environment.
right. We all have that treasure chest of the kingdom inside of us, and we
Yes.
just want to learn how to open it up and discover what we've got.
Absolutely.
And so, yeah, we want
So
to
when
leave
Paul
you with those
challenges us to make the most out of every opportunity,
Yeah.
he's saying everything that comes along in our
Yes.
life
Wow.
is an opportunity
Yes.
to capitalize in
Yes.
it and make the most of it.
Yes.
Every opportunity, not
Yes.
just some. Oftentimes you can look at that and go, well, maybe some opportunities are
Yeah.
worth capitalizing
No.
on. But he
Yes.
says, make the most out of
Every opportunity. Yeah.
So it's key
Yes.
how I look at things.
100%.
It's key how you look at things.
Yes.
It's key how we respond, because,
Yeah.
again, our life is
Yeah.
loaded full of opportunities. Our
Yes,
life
it is. Yeah.
has so many things
Yeah.
that come and go. And so how do we make
Yeah.
the most of it? I want to integrate this, and this is the first point I want us to talk about, because it's probably one of the most critical, but all three are so important.
Yes.
Tools.
Yeah.
And the first thing that I want us to talk about is, if we want to make the most of life, it will always, always, always involve change.
Wow. Change. And sometimes
Hmm.
that is an uncomfortable place to be.
Absolutely is.
Because when it involves change, sometimes there's having to let go of something that was normal. Because some of us just live in a default setting.
Interesting.
And we're just in routine.
Yes.
And all of a sudden, life brings us an opportunity, and it's going to involve change. And that is powerful.
Most people,
Yeah.
if we're honest,
Yeah.
including ourselves,
Yep.
don't like change.
Yeah.
Yes, we like change in fact of color and technology maybe and
Yes.
other things like that. But when it comes to our day-to-day life,
Yes.
everyday walking through,
Yes.
majority of people struggle with change.
Yes.
Why do you think that is?
You know what? I think a lot of it is we are afraid of walking through a doorway where we're not sure what it's going to look like. Change, and it brings us out of our comfort zone.
That is
We-
probably the big
Yeah.
one. It brings us out of our comfort zones
Yes, it
because
does.
we're creatures of habit.
Yes.
We mostly like things
Yeah.
in a system.
Yeah.
And when we're taken out of that system,
Yeah.
it's unfamiliar.
Yes.
And it's fear. It's
Yeah.
fear because we're not sure.
Yes.
But that is the opportunity
That
to
is.
make the most of life because
Yes.
I
Yeah.
really believe this, folks.
Yeah.
When something is alive,
Yes.
it always changes.
Yes.
It never stays the same.
Yes.
When you look at our life as you know, we can talk about when we were 6 and 7, and now
Yeah.
we're 47 and 46.
Yes.
Things have changed.
Yeah.
Whether we want to admit it or not, our
Yes.
system got challenged
Yes.
all along the
Yes.
way as we grew.
Yeah.
We got more experience. We got
Yep.
exposed to more things.
Yes.
We have
Yep.
had more input in our life. We've had
Yep.
to deal with challenges. We've had to work
Yes.
through
Yes.
obstacles. So our life always changed. And
Yes.
so change is inevitable.
Yes. And you know what? I feel like we are created for change.
Yes.
We're actually created to grow and change. And
Absolutely.
that's where every opportunity that
Yes.
comes is an opportunity to grow.
Absolutely. I love
Yeah.
that aspect to
Yeah.
grow because
Yeah.
on one hand, I want to keep growing.
Yeah.
And then on the other hand, I don't like the process because it's
Yes.
going to stretch my
Yes.
theology.
Yes.
It's going to stretch my
Yes.
ideals.
Yes.
It's going to stretch how I think or how I
Yes.
process.
Yes.
It's going to affect all those avenues.
Yes.
But if we recognize change
Yes.
as positive,
Yes.
not negative,
Yes.
we can embrace it then
Yeah.
when it shows up.
Absolutely. And you know what? Even all around us, things our seasons change. And it's not the end.
We're in the middle of
So-
a change right now.
That's
from
right.
winter to spring.
Exactly. And sometimes in a certain season, it looks like everything's dying. It's not. Because it
right.
is a doorway into something new again. There's going to be new life, new
Absolutely.
birth. There's going to be
Absolutely.
growth of new things.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So we want to encourage you in these
Yes.
moments. There's not a death of anything necessarily, but a starting of a
Yes.
rebirth of something in your life.
Yes.
And
Yes.
so
We
embrace that
believe
with
that.
joy and
Yes.
excitement. Yes, it's going to be
Yes.
uncomfortable,
Yes.
but change, if we want to make the most of life,
Yes.
it will always involve
Yes.
change.
Yep. Yep.
Change always speaks of adjustment. Oh,
Yes.
sometimes it's not fun adjusting.
No.
We just want things to be the way they
Yes.
are. And I
Yes.
think the difference between a society or a culture that makes the biggest a span of influence
Yes.
is their ability to adapt to change.
Yes.
If the
Adapt.
church wants to be effective, its inability
Yes.
to
Yes.
change
Yes. Yeah.
is a huge
Yeah.
stopping ground.
Yes.
If
you
business,
Yes.
if business,
Yeah.
people that run businesses, we used to run business before
Yeah.
as well. We were
Yeah.
our own business, and
Yeah.
if our inability to adapt to change
Yeah. Yeah.
will affect our productivity
Yes.
and the ability
Yes.
to reach and influence
Yeah.
people.
And it even is in a personal level. If
Yes.
something is coming to challenge me personally, there's an obstacle in life, there's something feels like it's falling apart, I'm telling you, there is opportunity. And
Absolutely.
if I want to be better, if I want to grow through it, adaptability is key.
Absolutely.
Embracing change.
Yeah, that's right.
Accepting it.
So the first thing that we are
Yeah.
just keeping with our time, we want to honor
Yeah.
our time,
Yes.
is the involves change.
Yeah.
It's change is inevitable. But
Yeah.
the second thing that I think is just as important and often is overlooked,
Yeah.
if we want to make the most of life,
Yeah.
we have to embrace failure.
That's huge.
Oftentimes, I think we judge our success based
Yes.
on less failure
Yes.
and more things going in our
Yeah.
favor.
No challenges. We just going up the ladder.
The reality is we have to
Yes.
have to embrace failure because
Yes.
Because
Yeah.
we will never
Yeah.
do everything right.
Wow, that is freeing.
Totally free.
That is freeing.
The pressure oftentimes
Yes.
is we have an expectation
Yes.
of what this success looks like.
Yes.
And we try to aim for it.
Yes.
And we don't take into account
Yes.
failure.
Yes. And when there is something that challenges us, our normal, our routine, our default,
Yes.
something is breaking through that system, it is huge to be able to be, you know what? If we have to go through the process of change perfectly, we're all hooped.
Yeah.
So embracing failure in the midst of this process, coming from here, walking
Yes.
through a new door, is
Yep.
huge.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I have a note here that it frees us.
Yes.
It frees us to be a part of the process of growth.
Yes. That is the person. 100%.
It frees us
Yes.
to be in the part of the process of growth when
Yeah.
we embrace failure.
Yes.
We don't accept failure.
Yes.
We embrace it because we
Yes.
use it as if we want to make the most of life,
Yes.
we have to understand we're going to make mistakes.
Yes.
We're going to understand we're not going to do everything right. We're going to
Yes.
understand that
Yes.
somebody is not going to like what we do.
Yeah.
It's amazing how
Yeah.
all those factors
Yeah.
often are hindrances to us
Yeah.
rather than
Yes.
opportunities
Yeah.
for us. And I want to talk to you all you that are watching.
Yeah.
Life is going to hand you stuff. People will always be disappointed in you. People will always have an expectation over your life. People will tell you one thing and have a standard for your life when if you allow that to be the greatest influence, it'll
Yes.
halt you
Yes.
in moving forward. And
Yes.
so we're created by God to keep
Yes.
moving forward.
Yes.
And so when these things come,
Yes. Yes.
we have to accept, give ourselves grace, give
Yes.
ourselves permission
Yeah.
to make mistakes, not to stay there, but
That's
to
right.
embrace them
That's right.
and then use them as an opportunity for us
Yes.
to grow even higher in where we're going.
Yeah.
Embracing failure.
I
have a
love
note
that.
here that's important for us to read, and it's this. This is really cool. Embracing failure keeps you from becoming a victim.
Wow. That's huge.
Oh, if my circumstances only
Yes.
went my way, if only people would believe in me more, if only
Yes.
this would happen,
Wow.
if only this would turn, if
Yeah.
only something would
Yeah.
be in my favor.
Yes.
You know what? I'm learning because I can
Yes.
play the victim very easy.
Yeah. And most of us have.
And,
Most of us have.
for us to blame everybody else why
Yeah.
we're not moving ahead
Yes.
when we are in control of our own destiny.
Yes.
God's given us the ability inside of us
Yes.
to control our
And
destiny.
He is for us.
And He's for us.
Yes.
We talked about that.
Yes.
So embracing failure keeps us from becoming a victim.
That's huge. Because the moment we actually accept the victim part of us, we close the door to walking through. We
right.
stay in this, and this normal is not good.
Hey, we all have
Yep.
reasons why we are where we're at.
Yep. Yes.
But we don't have to stay there.
yes, we don't have
We're
to stay
handed things to us,
there. Yeah.
but we don't
Yeah.
have to stay there.
Yes.
We can learn
I
to rise
love
above.
that. I love
so,
that.
So let's
I
not be
love that.
victims. We
Yes.
are victors.
Yes, we are.
There's a Bible
So-
verse that says, greater is He, what's talking about God,
Yes.
greater is He that is in you,
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
than anything outside of that realm.
Yep. Yep.
And He's our champion.
Yep.
There's a third thing I want to
Yes.
leave you. We're coming right to our 25 or 26,
Yeah.
25 mark. And it is this. This is a point that you came up with. Why don't you
Yeah.
share your point? Because
Yes.
we talked about if we want to make the most out of life,
Yes.
it involves change.
Yeah. Yeah.
It involves embracing failure,
Yeah. That's huge.
not staying there, embracing it,
Yes.
and then turning it.
Yes.
And
Yep.
the third thing that we talked about right this morning before we were coming here to church
Yeah.
to spend 25, 30 minutes with you. And what is it, babe?
It is learning to be present. And that's a hard one.
Learning to be present.
Yes, because I feel like this is what I wanted to say. Sometimes we tend to get overwhelmed with what we've had to let go
Yep.
of. And sometimes we get anxious about what the future's going to look like. And so then we either end up back there or in front there and anxious, but when you're present because that's
Present,
where God
living
is.
in the now.
In the now. Making the most of the opportunity right now.
There's not
huge.
much we can do about, there's nothing we do about the past.
Nope.
There's nothing we can do about
Nope.
the past. There's really nothing we can do about the future unless we
Yes.
live in the present.
Yes.
We can set goals for the future,
Yes.
but we have to live in the present.
Yes.
We can plan for what's ahead,
Yes.
but we have to make decisions
Yes.
in the now.
Yep.
And I think this is so many of these are such huge examples for myself is
Yeah.
because many times I find myself not present. I can be sitting and
Yes.
having a coffee and talking with you,
Yeah.
and I'm thinking about stuff that needs to happen tomorrow,
Yes.
the next day.
That's right.
And then all of a sudden, an issue rises up,
Yes.
and I consume myself with that
Yes.
issue, and I'm
Yeah.
not enjoying the present.
That's
and as a
right.
result, I'm robbing
Yes.
myself
Yes.
of what's happening
That's
right
right.
here and now.
That's
And so
right.
sometimes you have to learn.
Yes.
I don't have my phone here, but
Yes.
sometimes you have to learn to shut that thing off.
Yes.
Because it's the biggest distraction.
Yes. Yeah.
Sometimes being in
Yeah.
front of the computer is the biggest distraction.
Yeah.
Sometimes being in front of the TV is the biggest distraction.
Yes.
Sometimes social media can be the biggest distraction.
Yes.
We got to learn to live in the present.
Yes.
God's given us the gift of now.
Yes.
Yes,
Yeah.
sometimes the circumstances are not as fun as we want them to be.
Yeah.
But we're given the now.
Yes. Right now.
And
is
so
what we
I
have.
want to learn to be present.
Yes.
I want to learn to adapt to
Yes.
change. I want to learn
Yeah.
to embrace
Yeah.
failure, but I want to learn to live in the present. I want
Yes.
to be present.
Yes.
I want to be present.
Yes.
Taking the moments now,
Yeah.
making the most of them.
That's amazing.
Isn't that cool?
That is so powerful because I feel like
you had a verse that you
Yes.
wanted to share too.
Yeah.
It's important for, why don't
this
you share
is
that?
this is from Isaiah, and I just found it this morning, and it just speaks to our circumstances right now of being present.
Yes.
So this is what it says. Isaiah 43, starting verse 16. This is what God says. The God who builds a road right through the ocean, who carves
Obstacle.
a path through pounding waves.
Obstacles.
Yep. The God who summons the horses, chariots, and armies, everything that's come to destroy us or enslave us again, he snuffs out like a candle. So he says, forget about what's happened. Don't keep going over old history. Be alert. Be present.
Wow.
I am about to do something brand new, and it's bursting out. Don't you see it? There it is. I'm making a road through the desert
Wow.
and rivers in the Badlands.
Wow.
That is,
Wow.
I feel
Wow.
like
Wow.
a word
Wow.
that God wants to speak over you, over me, over our community, whoever's
Yes.
listening right now.
Absolutely.
That's powerful.
It's incredible.
Yes.
And in closing, again, thank you so much for tuning in
Yeah.
with us and our journey, because we're journeying together.
Yes.
It's important to understand that all what we're talking about doesn't happen overnight.
No.
It takes minute by minute decisions in our life.
Yes.
And we need to give ourselves grace, and we need to give
Yes.
ourselves hope. We
Yes.
need to speak life into ourselves in
Yes,
this
we do.
process.
Yes.
This was great.
This was
This is
awesome.
great. We're hitting the 28 mark here.
Yep.
And again, we just want to thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for joining us for
You
coffee.
betcha. One of the things that we just want to leave with you is our YouTube channel, our Facebook page.
Yeah.
We would love for you to visit us on YouTube and
Yeah.
subscribe to our channel, because
Yeah.
you'll keep getting new updates of different things we
Yes.
do. When this
What we're
program
gonna
is
do.
done, we edit it and we put it on YouTube for people to view as well. You can view it on my Facebook page.
Yeah.
But if you have any questions you want or things
Yes.
like that, or you want to touch base,
Yes.
Estevan's Church of EstevanCog.com.
Yeah.
We have a lot of resources there for you.
Yeah.
We would love to be in
Yeah.
contact with you and
Yes.
keep connecting with you. And
Yeah.
we are looking forward to Wednesday.
Wednesday table talk
When's it is?
coming up.
Hey, do us a favor.
Yes.
If you enjoyed today's program,
Yeah.
why don't you hit the share button
Yeah.
and let others in on that as well. Hit the
Yes.
share button. That way
Yeah.
other people can experience and walk
Yeah.
through this journey too. So we would
We-
encourage you to do it. Thank you so much for being
Yes.
with us.
Love having coffee
We're gonna
with
see
you
you
guys.
Wednesday at 7:30.
Have an awesome Sunday.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.